Okay, here we go again. Welcome to Nova Spektrum. I'm Samuel Zimmermann, the artist behind this visionary project. Today we're going to talk about the project and the vision of the project and how we want to succeed and get there to this vision. This video is unscripted, comes directly from my heart to you out there in the interwebs. I did art and especially music all my life. So the past 15 years I had the joy of getting invited to various places around the world. Very exotic places, but also in many cases, big cities all over the world. Australia, Canada, America, South America, Central America, Asia. Lots of places where I had the honor to perform my music. Nova Spektrum is a new project of mine, but I am known under several other monikers. I have created several psytrance related music projects already, with Parandroid being the most well-known. Now that we got our little introduction of myself out of the way, let's talk about the vision of Nova Spektrum. The vision or the idea for Nova Spektrum came up in me during the time when I studied visual art in Munich, roughly 15 years ago. And this was a totally natural thing. I was a performance artist who performed on big stages and festivals with point performances, so acrobatic performances. I was all my life invested into music, and I come from a family of artists, especially from my mother's side. My grandfather was a painter, his brother was a filmmaker, and even in my closer family, there's also a lot of artistic talent and execution. Then I started to write music, also in my early 20s. I got my first laptop and I started to do that. And obviously when you do all of those things, very devoted as I was, until my hands bled in some cases with the acrobatics, I was always somebody who did the stuff that he did very intensely. It became clear that one day I would want to join those art forms: visual art, performance art, and music. Shortly after that, my roller coaster of a career began. And it led me, as I said before, all around the world. When you're getting into that kind of motion, when you're getting invited to a lot of places and a lot of things are happening in a short time, it is almost comparable to sitting in a roller coaster and not being really able to process a lot. The past years changed that. Many things like 2019 and what happened during that time led me to really reflect about what I want to do and what I stand for. I always wanted to create psychedelic music. That was my main vision for when I started to make music. That's a pretty simple thing if you think about it. But there was no thought about genre. The genres came to me. I didn't come to the genres. This idea is an old one, and now I'm executing on it because I finally feel ready, since I honed my skills for so many years and in so many different styles. And I liberated myself from any kind of, things that keep my creative process down. Last year I also was reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. This also had a major impact on forming of this vision. The real nail-down moment of Nova Spektrum was when I was performing on XIII in Mexico, just before I started this production run of 2.5 months. The last 2.5 months I was in the studio. I had this vision because there were the right people around me. There was a VJ there that was doing quite impressive work, and a lot of friends of mine who were deeply invested into performance art, who became quite close friends. They also were there, and the right things happened. I had a DMT experience that was beautiful with a guy called Dominic, who's also a DJ, and the vision just crystallized, and I put down the first kind of outline in text form, and I showed it to people in my cycle, in my surrounding, in my universe, and to many people, some of them psytrance adjacent and some of them not. And ultimately the response was really, really, really good. And So I began to actually form this vision more. How do I get this done? How do I get a grand spectacle out of performance art, visual art, and music? How is that really facilitated? And that's of course a big journey, probably a year-long journey, maybe a decade-long journey, maybe a lifelong journey. We don't know when we go on an adventure like that. I started to work, and fortunately I had a lot of support in the beginning by some great people from all over the world. There were people from the performance team in Mexico that had my back, not only, you know, in this professional capacity, but also as friends. There were people in America that I met on my tour, which were of tremendous help during the whole process, because they lend a hand with organizational structure and management, and also just a mental backup again. When you're setting out on those big artistic journeys, it's not an easy thing for the artists. For example, I was in isolation for the last 2.5 months, only working on this project, and this is why we have such a big catalog of music that is already done, and such a big catalog of other media, from text to imagery to graphic design to all kinds of stuff, and organizational structure. How do we get there? We get there by collaborating, being open, which I am. I always am open, and I'm here to preserve talent. If you're a talented individual which has something to offer and which is not heard, because we live in a world where everything is dominated by social media, numbers, etc., then we might be the right place for you. We are a home for the extraordinarily talented, just like in the X-Men, you can say. And the other thing is community, a thing that I was never really strong in, because it's not my expertise. I'm born to be an artist. I was luckily knowing that all my life. I knew that all my life, since I'm a small boy, that my journey is the journey of a creative person and of a creator. And that was crystallized through experiences with mescaline when I was around 18 years old on the beaches of Morocco at Rhythms of Peace Festival. This culture helped me a lot, and this is why I'm investing my life and dedicating my life to it. It's as simple. This is my intrinsic motivation. This is why I will never give up. This is why I will always continue to strive to heal people through music and through the use of psychedelics, and through offering a forum for that is healthy and good. So we need a community. Fortunately, this time I'm not alone. There are people surrounding me that are quite good in what they do. And when you're attempting a project like that, be sure that it's not only about assembling a grand band of creatives. It is as much about communication and many other aspects as it is about artistic aspects. This is unfortunately how stuff works today. Those are the two aspects. It's collaboration and community. This is how we'll get there. This video already is getting a bit long. I hope that you enjoyed this. I think there will be a lot more videos just like that. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, okay? This is an easy way to support Nova Spektrum and our project, our vision, that is for you ultimately. It of course, art needs a recipient, so we work hard on all fronts. If you enjoyed this, if you want to support or be a part of Nova Spektrum project, be sure to visit this link that I'm putting in the video, or down in the description box probably, where you can apply for Nova Spektrum and subscribe to all our channels. We have already an Instagram channel up, we have a Facebook channel up, we have a Facebook group. All of those links will be found down in the description below. I want to thank all the people that helped of bringing us as far as we are already, and for believing in the vision, for believing in me. And thank you so much from the depths of my heart. This sounds cheesy, but this is just the truth. And I hope that you have a nice day. Don't forget that you are beautiful.